In the shadowed corridors of international politics, where the dance of power sways to the rhythm of war and diplomacy, a bold stance by a nation's leader can pivot the future. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's resolute dismissal of U.S. demands concerning Gaza presents a critical juncture not only for Israel, but also for global geopolitical dynamics. As the Rafah offensive intensifies, the reverberations of Netanyahu's decision echo across continents, underscoring a deep-seated divergence between long-standing allies. This narrative isn't merely about a regional conflict. It's a profound statement on national sovereignty, military strategy, and the intricate ballet of international relations. When Prime Minister Netanyahu vocally dismissed the U.S. demands regarding the planning for post-war Gaza, it wasn't out of mere defiance but a calculated stand on strategic grounds. The U.S., concerned about an unending conflict and its broader implications, had been pushing for a blueprint that anticipated a cessation of hostilities and a subsequent governance framework. Netanyahu, however, labeled these demands as premature and just chatter, as long as Hamas remained a formidable force. The essence of Netanyahu's argument was rooted in the belief that without a decisive military victory, any discussion on future governance would be futile. This stand reflects a broader skepticism towards diplomatic pressures that seem to underestimate the complexities of combating entrenched militant groups. His response was clear. Israel needed to prioritize a clear military win before entertaining international plans for Gaza's future. Netanyahu's outright rejection of the U.S. demands marks a frosty phase in the traditionally warm Israeli-U.S. relations. Historically, these two allies have navigated through various disagreements, but the current scenario poses a unique challenge. The U.S. administration's push for a combined military and political strategy contrasts sharply with Netanyahu's military-centric approach, creating a palpable tension. This divergence could potentially strain diplomatic interactions, influencing future cooperation on security, intelligence, and economic matters. The U.S. has often played a mediating role in the Middle East, and Netanyahu's stance might force a re-evaluation of this role, especially with the U.S. political landscape being influenced by the upcoming elections. Looking ahead, both nations might need to engage in deeper dialogue to realign their strategies, or risk a prolonged period of diplomatic stiffness. The Israeli military's operations in Gaza, particularly around Rafah, have been intense and indicative of Netanyahu's commitment to a military solution. However, this approach has faced criticism, not just from international observers, but also from within Israel's own defense establishment. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, for instance, has publicly criticized the lack of a clear post-war plan, suggesting that a military victory alone might not lead to sustainable peace. Such critiques highlight a crucial strategic dilemma. While military might can dismantle organized resistance, it doesn't necessarily pave the way for stable governance or mitigate the risk of insurgency. This dilemma is at the heart of the disagreement between Netanyahu and his critics, both domestically and internationally. Post-war governance in Gaza remains a contentious issue with no clear consensus on who should take the reins once Hamas is weakened or potentially ousted. Netanyahu's government has floated the idea of a multi-year Arab-led civil administration, but this has found little favor with Arab governments which view it as a de facto Israeli occupation. Moreover, the role of Hamas post-conflict is a divisive issue. While some international and regional actors see a need to integrate moderate elements of Hamas into future governance structures, Israel remains staunchly opposed. This impasse complicates the prospects for lasting peace and stability in Gaza and calls for innovative diplomatic efforts to bridge the divide. In conclusion, Netanyahu's bold rejection of U.S. demands sets the stage for a complex interplay of military strategy, diplomatic relations, and future governance challenges. As the situation evolves, the international community must closely monitor and engage with these developments, understanding that the decisions made today will shape the geopolitical landscape of tomorrow.